Hello, great people. The trial of Peter Nwachukwu, the husband of late gospel singer Nwachukwu, continued today, June 22nd, 2022. Meanwhile, let's refresh your memory on what has transpired before today's proceeding. That's what has been going on before this particular day. Osinachi developed ulcer because her husband Peter Nwachukwu stabbed her. This according to late gospel singer's sister. That's what she told the court. The sister of late gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu, Favor Madu, on Monday, that was June 20, told the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, that Osinachi developed ulcer after her husband stabbed her for a long time. While testifying as a second witness for the prosecution in the alleged culpable homicide case brought against Nwachukwu by the Attorney General of the Federation's office, Madu said Nwachukwu treated her sister like an animal and stabbed her despite being the provider of the house. She said, "My sister developed ulcer as a result of starvation because Nwachukwu never provided for his family. She was the provider for the family. My sister owns the house they lived in." Wow. He drove her out of the house with their last baby under the rain, and it was her first son that got a wrapper to cover the baby. The distraught sister told the court that the family referred to Nwachukwu as manager because he had control of everything, including her money, and the fear she had for him made her not to relate well with the family. Her husband never treated her well, she continued. He treated her like an animal, beat her anyhow, never made her happy, and never allowed her to associate with her family. There was a time she went for menstruation, and when she asked for stage fee, she told them that 2 million naira had been paid into her husband's account. He was responsible for booking events, collecting money, and only told her to go and minister without giving pocket money. When my father was ill, he wanted to come to Abuja for treatment, but the defendant, that is Peter Nwachukwu, refused, and he eventually died. She said, while traveling for our father's burial, the defendant slapped her because she complained of how rough he was driving. The sister is still speaking. During cross-examination, the defense counsel IA Aliu asked how Madu became aware of the occurrences since she was in Enugu, but the letter said she became aware of this through telephone conversation she had with her sister. Aliu equally asked Madu if the family expected to benefit from her late sister's finances, and she answered in the affirmative. And when she was asked if she asked what led to her sister's death at the hospital, she said defendant prevented the deceased twin sister of her and her brother who were in the hospital from asking doctors. Could you imagine? The judge, Justice Njide Kamosu Iheme, discharged the matter, and it was to continue today. This is 22nd of June 2022. The hearing was to continue today. We'll bring you updates on that later probably. But let's continue to look at this story. Well, I hate to believe the story that the lady would have been stabbed by her husband, especially in this situation that she was like the breadwinner of the home. You know, I'm aware women make dishes for their homes and serve men. Even if the reverse is the case in this matter, I refuse to go with the claim that she was stabbed, unless while she was sick to the point that she can't prepare meals, make dishes, have access to her money and others. So on the claim that she was treated like an animal, well, in several of the confessions we've had and received, he gave her massive beatings. And the Minister for Women Affairs confirmed that too when she interviewed the children shortly after the death of Osinachi. So it also appears that despite her being the breadwinner of the home, she seems not to be in control of her life. This is far more than just being submissive. It's a case of continuous humiliation, intimidation, continuous harassment, and it has come to a point she has been bent to live her life that way. And the confession of his music producer shows she is afraid of the devil and somewhat like someone in shackles and afraid of getting help. She does several things as if in the hidden. Imagine recording a song without the knowledge of telling the producer it doesn't want the husband to know. He also seems to have hold of everything about her liberty. Can you imagine? He's in charge of her YouTube channel that he receives money from. Every money he receives. You know, someone who even suggests she's been manipulated with charms. And while all this happened, she kept her mood and her family out of it. Could you imagine? That is all of what she's meant to go through. All the subjection, all the house beating, pushing her into the rain. She never even thought of reminding him he owned the property and is like the breadwinner of the home. Oh my God. Something is seriously wrong for her to remain calm despite the batterings. And concerning the ulcer, if they said ulcer she developed was because she starved, despite being a top gospel singer whose music is among the wave of the moment. I don't know where to place that. This case is horrible. If indeed he also prevented them from knowing what was the cause of her death or have full access to her while at sickbay, then he seemed to be hiding something. And let me not judge him before the time, but seems there are several evidences that can put someone behind the bars for many years, based on what we have heard and seen. And I would advise ladies never to allow it to get to this point before running away. Run for your life. It is for better for worse doesn't mean you have to die in it. Anyway, let's see. We may bring you updates on what transpired in the court today later. What do you think about this story? Now it has court proceedings has begun. The trial of Peter Nwachukwu has begun. What do you think? Can you tell us the probable outcome? What do you think? What do you suggest? Based on what you've heard, what do you suggest? Add your comment on the comment section. I am Azoka Ozo OJ. Bye bye for now.